Hey guys, Skinny Pigs 1 here. So today's video is about why you should say no to pet store cages. Now I know this video will step on some people's toes, but this is just for educational purposes to help open your eyes and hopefully inspire you to change up your cage if you do have one of these. Now if you decide to get defensive or rude towards me or whatever, have excuses and so on, then I feel bad that the whole point of this video was lost on you. It's just for educational purposes. I am not pointing fingers. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has things they can change. So the best kind of piggy parents are ones who have an open mind, who see something they could change for the better and do so, rather than let their pride get in the way. So with that being said, we're going to start off with this pet store cage here is the very standard cage that you are going to find in the pet store. There certainly are some that may be a tiny bit bigger, and there's definitely some that are smaller. This one is a super pet. This is what Bullseye was adopted in. So when I picked him up, this was his cage he was living in for a year of his life. So first off, a minimum cage size, because there are standards. Like it's 2015, we have care standards for guinea pigs. This cage would be like the same size as you could have got in 1980, back when I had my very first piggy. So it's really outdated. Like things have changed, people learn more new things about what is healthy for guinea pigs. So this is so outdated for these to be still sold in pet stores. And things in pet stores, just because they're sold there, does not mean it's safe or healthy. So first off, for two pigs, because you always should have two pigs because they thrive in pairs, the minimum requirements are 28 inches by 56 inches. So that's a 2x4 CNC cage. So let's measure and see what we got here. We've got 30 inches long, so we are 26 inches too short. We're that short. That is a lot of space we are short for the length. And the width, we're 18 inches, so again, we're another 10 inches too short for the length. Now the next thing we can touch on is the cost of a pet store cage. This standard size cage here would be at least $100 or more, and if you get ones that are a bit bigger that are still too small, you're looking at $150 or up. That is so expensive for what you get. You get nothing. You get this cheap plastic bottom and that crappy wire cage part. When you build a CNC cage, I'm using CNC cages because I have them. You can do so many different custom cages. But for a CNC cage, I like a 2x5 for my pairs, and that costs me under $50 to make. And I can fit about 5 of these bases in my 2x5 CNC cage. So I'm not a mathematician, but something just doesn't add up for this size of a cage. Now the problems with pet store cages are, number one, they're overpriced. Number two, they are unhealthy. Why are these unhealthy? Well, let me tell you. Number one, they create so much boredom. Can you imagine a piggy in this cage? There is absolutely nothing to do. Unless they've committed a robbery, armed robbery, they should not be kept in a prison. So let's set this up, and I'm going to show you why this is so boring. So we'll get this cheap piece of garbage together. Oh, what quality we have here. Oh. Okay, now how the heck do you... Well, this one's real good because you can't even open the top. So, if I was having a cage, I would have a hay rack. Get our little water bottle put up here. On a food dish, a bed, and a chew toy. Now, does that look like there's any room to do anything in this cage? Now, here is a little lawn guinea pig, but this is about the size of my butter pecan, maybe a touch bigger, but still, you put your pig in there. What the heck can your pig do? Nothing. It can hardly move around, just take little steps here and there. So could you imagine having another pig in this cage? That is torturous. So now the health problems you're going to get with them having nothing to do is they're not going to exercise, so they're not going to be exercising their heart to have a healthy heart. They're going to get obese. They could get sore feet from standing in the same spot. And they could break their teeth because when they are bored, they are going to chew the bars on the cage. And also for boars, in their hind end here, they need to have these muscles toned so that they can push their poops out. If they have no muscle tone in their hind end, they're going to get impacted. So there's a lot of health risks with having a small cage. Now you could argue, but I give them lots of floor time. Do you give them 12 hours of floor time a day? And often when you take a piggy out for floor time, they don't necessarily feel like running right at that time. They might be in their sleep mode or eat mode. Guinea pigs like to exercise on their own time. Whenever I did floor time, which I don't do it very often, they would be sitting there, they'd be scared, they'd be nervous, they'd be eating, they'd be sleeping. Whereas when I provide a huge cage, I get to see them do laps and popcorn whenever they feel like it. Nothing can beat a large cage, because I'm sorry, like, people work, people are at school. You're not here to take them out for 12 hours a day. Alright, so let's see what other cages you could get at the pet store. Because this, honestly, this is my cage that I take a piggy to the vet in. All I put is a little bed here and just their little pile of hay and attach a water bottle. But this cage was sold to me, and the pet store told me it'd be good for up to 2 guinea pigs. Like, are you serious? And I said, yeah, right, this is going to be my carry cage. Can you imagine 2 pigs in there? Like, let's get serious here, people. So that just shows, like, the pet stores don't know anything. They just want to sell you crap. They don't give a crap about the pets. Yeah, that looks like a great cage for 1 guinea pig, let alone 2. Like, come on, seriously. And that is honest to God what the pet store said, that this was okay for 2 pigs. So now we're going to take our cage that is often bought for 1 or 2 pigs, and I'm going to show you a comparison. Over here is a liner that's just a bit shorter than 2x5. And we're going to take out this liner that fits perfectly in this base and put it on here. Do you see how much extra room a custom built cage gives those guinea pigs? And a lot of times people will say, my pig seems happy in their pet store cage, they're fine. Like, you cannot use that as an argument. There's no way a pig is going to prefer to stay in this little area when they could have this whole area. Now again, this isn't pointing fingers or shaming people. This is just supposed to be eye-opening. It'd be like asking you to live in your closet or live in your entire house. Which are you going to pick? Your piggies don't have a choice, so you need to provide them with the best that you can. CNC cages are amazing for fitting different shapes. You can make them fit in a corner. You can set them up on tables. You could set them up on a stand so you could still store stuff underneath. I don't have a super large home, and I could find so many different spots to fit 1 cage to provide my piggies with the best space possible. And I'm going to say it and people are going to get mad, but if the only space you have is for a little tiny cage like this, then I really do not think piggies are the pets for you until you can provide them with the adequate space. Now, the adequate space is not just something I'm coming up with on my own. Like, it's just proven to be healthier to give them a lot of space. Guinea pigs love to exercise, love to run around. When you have a little pet in the cage this size, how are you going to enjoy them when they can't even enjoy themselves? And again, you're not around at all times to have them out for floor time. So it just doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, that is my video on pet store cages and why I think everybody should always say no to them. There's just no reason to house a piggy in something so small. They're very special creatures and they deserve to have space, to not be bored, to run around when they please. Alright, see you guys later.